We need okay, Lorcas, Proxy, so we need one more person. That's three.
I mean, it'd be pretty funny if it's just delayed.
Well, it'd work out for you.
It would. Definitely.
Let me see if
What's even our
Linda's
agenda? Hold on.
playing. Linda's playing The Sims.
Oh, if Lena gets an absent, I'm messing. Um, we have random treaties, Provost Marshal Codification Correction Act, Bond Point Revision Act to introduce a dress code, and then those two are in committee for some reason.
Yeah,
Um,
because um, gosh, what's his face? Hydro made a motion to commit.
why did everyone vote aye? There was just no reason. Didn't see a reason in sending them to committee.
Well, maybe the Psych HLS Taser Act, but even then, like you
Yeah,
can have
yeah,
that
yeah,
debate on the floor.
yeah. I don't. Yeah. I have like mixed opinions about it. I would just abstain for the taser one. Uh, but the other one was like a no-brainer in my opinion. Fail to download or apply critical settings. Please check your internet connection is what I'm getting for the app. So I think it is just down unless my Wi-Fi is just
That's
anti-Roblox.
doubtful. I think it's probably just Roblox. Let me try to harass Linda. 'Cause goddamn, playing The Sims, and he's been playing it for an hour and 40 minutes. You coming to session? Okay, Doge just responded. Okay, yeah, Doge is on his way. His stuff was updating.
Bro, what
Yep,
is
he's here.
going on?
Go ahead and
What if
start then. Um,
I try?
Hereby call the second session of the 66th God Senate to order. Get to the agenda. You are exempt from this, of course, Foxes. Please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
Someone should stream. Thank you, bro. I mean, it is just a white screen, but the spirit.
Please remain standing for a moment of reflection. All right, you may be seated. As I say, the secretary's not here today, so I'll be calling the roll. Linda McMahon. Appears not to be here. So, as I say, he will be marked as absent. Senator Vox's Lynn,
President Spirit.
present. Senator Perk 60 is absent. Senator King Jerry is absent. Senator Cursed Vision. Okay. and Senator Doge Alpha plays.
Present.
All right. Okay, it
Oh,
appears we have a quorum with 4 people, including the proxy. So we shall move on. Are there any objections to how the agenda is presented for tonight's proceedings? Hearing no objection, the agenda stands approved. Moving on, the floor is open for any opening remarks or motions to be made.
Mr. President.
Senate, God damn it.
Yeah, but I got
President
a
Pro
promotion to lock
Tempore.
in.
God,
Yeah.
man.
I got a
Long
promotion,
day,
but I lock
long
in.
day.
I motion to proceed to the executive portion of tonight's agenda.
Is there a sufficient second?
Second.
Hearing a sufficient second, we shall now move to the executive business portion of our agenda, of which the first item is Treaty 6613, U.S.-Indonesia Friendship Treaty. The floor is open for any debate
President,
or motions to be made. President Pro Tempore.
I move to pass all remaining items, treaties on the executive portion of tonight's agenda via unanimous consent.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered. Both items on the executive business of today's agenda are approved via unanimous consent. Are there any motions to move on to legislative business?
Yes,
President Pro Tempore.
I motion to move to the legislative portion of tonight's agenda.
Is there a sufficient second? Hearing a sufficient second, we shall now move to the legislative business of tonight's agenda, of which the first item is S6602, Provost Marshal Codification Correction Act, presented by Senator Curse Vision, and I guess I need to read the purpose. So let me get that open. Okay. The purpose of this bill is to move the position of Provost Marshal from the General Armed Forces structure to be under the Marine Corps structure, and rename the position from Provost Marshal General, which is Army specific, to Provost Marshal, which is Marine Corps specific. Are there any motions to be made or debate to be had?
I move to end debate and move to a vote.
Is there a sufficient second?
I second.
There being a sufficient second, we shall now move to a vote, of which, Voxus, you can go ahead and say what your vote is.
I
Okay,
was a
So-
knight.
got your vote counted. What in the absolute? Okay. Okay, we basically already know the results. But, okay. On this vote, the ayes are 4, with 0 nays and 0 abstaining, so the ayes have it, and the bill is agreed to. Moving on to the next item, S6603, Spawn Point Revision. Oh, wait, that's in committee. Okay. SRES 6602, to introduce a dress code in the Senate. God, what is wrong with me today? In the Senate, Senator Curse Vision proposed this. Are there any motions or debate to be had?
Oh, is this
I
the resolution?
move.
Oh, wait, I need to read the purpose section.
Yeah, I was about to ask for that.
God. Fucking hate that shit.
Guys, professionalism, please.
Oh, yes. Apologies. Well, the purpose of this seems to be to introduce a dress code to the Senate. So, there you have it. Any motions to be made or debate to be had?
I move to proceed to a vote.
Is there a sufficient second?
Second.
There being a sufficient second, we shall now move to a vote on this item, of which, Voxes, you can go ahead and give me your vote.
Aye.
Okay. And we already know the results of this as well. On this vote, the ayes are 4, with 0 nays and 0 abstaining. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The resolution is agreed to. Moving on to the next item, HR 6603, Fecal Exemptions and Reversion Reform Act of 2025, presented by not President, Representative Revocate. Let me get his purpose section, which is incredibly long. Okay, bear with me. It has been some time since the Fecal Act. Oh my God, what is this? This story? Okay, it has been some time since the Fecal Act was passed by both chambers of Congress and signed into law by the President. However, the act has caused significant discontent among several departments and other bodies, including the United States Marshal Service and the United States military. Not only were some department directors not consulted during the drafting of the Fecal Act, but it has made standard operations more difficult in these departments, which previously used oaths instead of government contracts. Matter of fact, 8 U.S. Code 602, the United States Code portion, which was just basically said, dedicated to USMS oaths, wasn't even stricken by the Fecal Act. This bill seeks to exempt these departments from these provisions of the Fecal Act, reinstating oaths for USMS and the U.S. military, and simplifying the recruitment processes for everyone involved. Okay. Are there any motions to be made or debate to be had?
I move to end debate and proceed to a vote.
Is there a
I
sufficient second?
second.
There being a sufficient second, we shall now move to a vote on this item. Go ahead and give me your vote boxes.
Aye.
Okay. So on this vote, the ayes are 4, with 0 nays and 0 abstaining. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it, and the bill is agreed to. The floor is now open for any closing remarks to be made or motions.
Mr. President.
Senate Pro Tempore, President Pro Tempore.
Senate pro tempore. I move to adjourn.
Is there a sufficient second or an objection? I will say there is. Cursed. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Cursed. You are recognized. He says, I'm saying this for Voxes, Mr. President, I would like to eject a bill from committee to be voted on, hence the objection. Okay, well, you may make that motion to discharge that bill if you so choose. Right now, you are recognized. Mr. Okay. Mr. President, I motion to discharge S 6603 from committee to be voted on the floor. Is there a sufficient second?
Second.
There being a sufficient second, all those in favor do now say aye. Those opposed, nay.
Aye.
I
Appears the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The bill is subsequently discharged and can now be considered on the floor.
Mr.
I
President,
move to end debate on S6603 and proceed to a vote.
Is there a sufficient second?
do you seek recognition?
Well, I thought that was a motion that you were trying to make, but go ahead.
It was. Don't worry. I second.
Okay, go ahead. There being a sufficient second, we shall now move to a vote. Well, I suppose I should read the purpose too before we do. To ensure that all persons, regardless of spawn point, have proper protections against spawn arrest without making it unfairly burdensome on members of law enforcement. With a sufficient second, we shall now move to a vote on this item. What is your vote, Foxes?
Abstain.
Okay. Oh, Hydro's here. On this vote, the ayes are 4 with 0 nays and 1 abstention. So the ayes have it, and the bill is agreed to. This concludes legislative business. Again, we approach not opening remarks, but closing remarks. And this is your opportunity to make any motions you may wish to make.
Hold on, Mr. President. Point of order: is there 4 ayes? Like, I don't think proxies count to.
Oh yeah, no, they don't. Okay. So a correction: 3 ayes, 0 nays, 1 abstention. The ayes have it. That ruling is still upheld, but the numbers, of course, changed. So thank you for that point of order. Are there any closing remarks or motions to be made?
Mr. President, I move to adjourn.
Is there a sufficient second?
Second.
There being a sufficient second, this second session of the 66th Senate is hereby adjourned.
Woohoo.
Okay, now time to log all of this.